ELIMU Nguvu has been the show that has previously brought to you different experts in various fields. We have brought them all for you, from lecturers, professors, and even career counselors. Our main objective has been to equip you with the necessary information and techniques to help you in proper decision making. Now, the show is taking you to a different level where we're taking you, our esteemed viewers, to meet and see creative Kenyans who are using their talent and passion and different forms of learning to change lives and to transform the society.
My name is Nelly Roby. I am 27 years old. I'm a single mother. Yes, and I'm a caterer, a baker, a cake decorator, and I also teach cooking as well and baking. I went to primary in Western Lugulu Primary School. Then I was fortunate to be called to the Kenya High School. Yes, which was a very good exposure. Then after that, I was actually called to Kenyatta University to do education, but I did not want to do education. So I refused to go there because education and teaching English and literature was not my passion. And I didn't want to just do it for the sake because it's the in thing, or because that get the job easily. So I told my parents I want to do hotel, anything to do with food. My parents still had the mindset that cooking, you cannot make a lot from cooking. How can you call cooking a career? What do you mean you want to do cooking? I think it's just the old mindset of parents. After being a doctor and being a lawyer or being a banker, education is the other career. So they tried convincing me, but then I stood my ground. Then most universities did not have the facilities to be able to effectively teach hotel management. It was more theory. So even though I was being given an option of going to KU and changing my course, I still didn't feel like I would learn a lot as much as I would have learned in a technical university. But it also depends with the course. If it's a more technical course, like catering and accommodation, it's you get good results if you teach the students technically and have more practicals than just theory. Because let's face it, our 844 system, we are so used to cramming, you cram, and after a few years, after a few months, you've forgotten. But if you do it practically, it becomes it's very hard for you to forget. Yeah, so that's why I chose Kenya Poly. It wasn't my favorite choice, but I was actually very happy at the end because I learned a lot. I did a diploma in catering and accommodation for 3 years. Then I interned at Safari Park Hotel. When I cleared my diploma, I worked a bit at Petma. They have a chain of restaurants in town. Yeah, then I decided, why not further my studies? So I joined Utali for the degree program for hotel management, which ran for 3 years also. Yeah. And then after then, I went to Windsor for internship for 6 months. But they really liked my work. So even before I finished the internship, they gave me a job in the pastry department. And after a while, because I had already started my own business, but I wasn't really serious then. So when I joined Windsor, it was very hard for me to work there because in a setting where you're employed, you are not given the free reins of exploring your creativity. So I felt caged. So one day I woke up and after work, I told my boss, I'm not coming tomorrow. I think it's all about you as an individual proving yourself. Because if you're going for internship, whether you're from a polytechnic or a university, as long as you go there and you show them that you can do it and you're hardworking and you're committed and you're not just going there to waste your time, then it doesn't matter if you're from a polytechnic or university. It's your work that speaks for itself. I do customized cakes. So if you want a shoe cake, a handbag shaped cake, and all that. And also my food, I focus more on the quality instead of just minimizing cost so that I can make money, because that's what most caterers do. So I try whatever catering function that I get. I try my best to give them my best. I cook like I would cook for my family at home. I do training for cake baking and decorating, and I also do food as well. So I saw the provision in the markets because there are so many people who are hungry to know how to cook. You realize that simple meals like chapati or mandazis, it's very hard for people to cook. So I thought, why not? Why not impart the knowledge that I've actually been able to get over the years to people and also earn from it?
And now we're in Nelly's kitchen. Yes, the famous Nelly's kitchen where she does her magic. That is the cooking and the training. And we're going to bring to you and experience together with you her skills firsthand. And for the recipe and more on how she does her stuff, you can definitely talk to us on our SMS number 22766 or on our Twitter handle. That is ELIMU_nguvu. So what are we making today, Nelly?
Today I'm going to show you how to make a Swiss roll. A Swiss roll is a type of a sponge cake that's rolled. Yes, so first things first, we're going to prepare the baking tin. So normally, there's a special Swiss roll tin, which usually has the height of the sides are shorter than this, but also a normal baking tin can do.
So if somebody can get the other one, then they can use this one, the normal one. Okay.
Yes, and it has to be rectangle. Yes, so do not take a circular tin and use it.
Okay. Yes. Or square, maybe?
No, it has to be a rectangle because of the rolling.
All right.
Yes. Now, we prepare the baking tin by lining it using a greaseproof paper. This you can buy in any bakeware shop. Yes.
It is greaseproof paper.
Yes, okay. Greaseproof paper. And the reason for doing this is so that our Swiss roll does not get stuck in the tin. Yes. So, I'm just going to place the baking tin on the greaseproof paper and do an estimation of how much greaseproof paper I might need for the tin. So, and it doesn't have to be an exact fit because we want it to overlap to the sides a bit. Swiss roll doesn't have much height. It's usually like this thin. So we want the height of the greaseproof paper that's covering the sides to be also that height.
Okay, to prevent it again from sticking either on the side or at the very base of the tin. Okay.
Yes. So I'm going to reduce this paper to prevent also...
Can I hold that for you?
Yes, please. Okay. To prevent wastage, yeah, in the kitchen we try as much to minimize wastage. Yeah. So if I place my baking tin like this, you can see I do not have a lot of greaseproof paper on the sides, on all the four sides. Now I'm going to snip the corners, all the four corners. This is to make sure that when I'm placing the greaseproof paper on the tin, it lies well without having creases. There we go. And then we have to grease the tin first before putting the greaseproof paper.
Okay.
Because if you put it without greasing it first, then it won't have anything to stick on.
Or something has to hold it inside the tin.
Yes. For greasing, you just need a little margarine. So now the other bit of the greaseproof paper that we cut, now you see we're using it.
Oh, okay. And for greasing, is there anything else you can use besides margarine?
You can also use oil. Okay, so you make sure you get into all the corners. Not too much. and the sides also.
Just enough to hold something.
Yes. So your tin should be covered with
so
grease or oil like
that is
this.
how a greased tin should be like.
Yes.
The beginning of the whole thing.
Yes.
Okay.
And then now we take our greaseproof paper that we had snipped at the corners. You fit it in the tin, and then you make sure the sides should be this flat.
Okay.
Yeah. So I hope now you see the reason why we cut
needed
the
all
corners.
the cuts, the snipping at the corners.
Yeah, so that the greaseproof paper sits well at the corners. Yeah.
And all this, probably even with the passion that you love cooking and making Swiss rolls is a beautiful thing that you love, but this is something that is now a skill. This maybe you had to learn, because it's not one day that you woke up and decided you're going to be using the tin and the greaseproof paper. And
No.
so how did you get now to learn how to do the whole thing?
I went to school in Technical University. I went there to do a diploma in catering and accommodation management. So I learned the basics there. But afterwards, most of the things I've learned, because I also do cakes, I've learned through just my own passion and researching and practicing. Yeah. So now we are going to measure the ingredients, and for cake baking is a science as much as it's an art. So you have to get the ingredients correctly. Yes. So I'm using digital scale. Yeah. There's manual scales for weighing ingredients, but I like the digital one because it's more accurate. You can measure as low as 5 grams, unlike the manual one. So we need, for the Swiss roll, we need 40 grams cake flour. So I've already switched on my digital scale, and then I'm going to measure 40. It has to be exact. 40 grams cake flour. Cake flour is not the normal flour that we use at home. Cake flour, to make cake flour, you measure 1 cup the normal flour, and then you remove 1 tablespoon of the flour from the cup, and you replace it with corn flour.
All right. Okay.
So you can use, like here I'm using the thermos cup, the flask cup. Yeah, or you can also use the weighing cup. There are commercial weighing cups in the market.
But I think this is good, because this you can find in almost every kitchen, any ordinary kitchen.
Yes. So you remove 1 tablespoon. After you remove the 1 tablespoon of flour, you replace it with corn flour.
Okay.
Yes. The reason we are doing that is so that we make cake flour. Because
cake flour is the combination of the normal flour and the corn flour.
Yes.
Wow, okay.
Yes, because in the Kenyan market it's very hard to find cake flour. Cakes made from cake flour have a particular texture. They are a bit lighter than just cakes made from normal flour. Yes, and that's what those are the results we're looking for when we're making our Swiss roll. Yes, for this particular recipe, because the recipes for Swiss roll which use just normal flour.
All right.
Yeah.
So clearly it's really important to go to school and get to learn these skills. You just can't land into a kitchen and begin because it's your passion.
No, you can't.
Okay.
You can't. It's good to know the basics.
All right.
Yes. So after the flour, which you've already measured, so for this cake flour, to finish it off, you have to sieve it like twice or thrice.
All right.
Yeah, so that will make it ready to be used. So I had already done that with another batch of flour. That's the one that I've measured.
Okay. So sieving, what do you use? Like a normal sieve?
Yeah, like a normal sieve. Just a normal sieve. Of course, it's better if it's bigger because it's faster and it makes your work easier. Yeah.
All right. Because you want to get a very fine textured flour.
Yes.
All right.
This is caster sugar, which is the ideal sugar for baking because it has a fine texture, not like the normal sugars. You can find one with very big particles, which also means it's going to affect the texture of your cake.
All right.
So the tinier the particles of the sugar,
the better.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. So for caster sugar, we need 60 grams. So,
which we again go and measure on our digital scale to get the right measure.
Yes. So 54, 58, 59, 60.
Okay. That's 61. It has to be really precise. What's the danger of having maybe a gram more than a normal, than the recommended?
Okay, I'm a bit of a perfectionist.
Okay, but it's all right to have a gram more, a gram less.
Perfectionism is really welcomed in cake baking because why I like being perfect in my measurements is in case it flops, I want to eliminate the fact that I did not over measure or overweigh
one particular component.
Yes, so it's easier for you to get where the fault was.
Okay.
Yes, so this is 60 grams and you can see the texture.
I'm allowed to touch?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So we have our caster sugar. Then we need 140 grams egg whites.
Okay.
And 60 grams egg yolks. There are different ways of separating egg white and egg yolk. So you use that which you are comfortable with. So you break the yolk, but do not the shell, but do not break it.
Don't break it out.
Yes,
you just separate
just a bit. Then you separate with your hands, and then you transfer the egg. That's the white plus the yolk to one shell. That means some of the egg whites will fall onto your plate.
All right.
Yes. So here we have egg yolk plus a bit of egg white. So to separate this, what I usually do, it's messy.
Yeah, but a little, but I guess you're looking for results, so you have to really want to be messy. Yes. Plus the kitchen is a bit messy sometimes.
Yes. So that's how we separate.
So now this is where we have the egg white and this is the egg yolk. Different measurements for the cake.
Yes, and you have to make sure that the yolk does not break.
All right, it has to be intact.
Because if it breaks, it means your egg whites will have a bit of egg yolk and that will cause a problem.
Because now you're going to... And how many years did it take you to go through the training? And by then, what was the name of your course at Kenya Polytechnic?
It took me 3 years to do catering and accommodation management. It was a diploma.
That is at Kenya Poly.
Yes.
And then later on, you moved to Italy.
I worked a bit. And then I decided I want to do a degree. Yes, so I went to Italy. Yes.
So right now you have a degree in catering?
In hospitality management. It goes by a different name in Italy. And in Italy it's more theoretical.
How did you just get to know this was a passion and you could not run away from it? Like, was it something that was always disturbing, or how did you know it was so strong?
From a very young age, I used to always be in the kitchen. I wanted to know how to make chapatis. And my mom sometimes will chase me because I'm really small and I can't even get to the cooker, to the height, so I have to get on a stool. But yes, I was that determined. We need 140
grams of the egg white.
Yes. So egg whites are usually a bit hard to measure, because it's slippery, it's slimy. And
maybe removing a bit of it might really be difficult.
Yes, so when you get to like 130, I usually try to spoon it in because it's easier to add
than to remove.
Less than to remove. So 140, perfect. 141.
141.
Okay.
Wow.
140.
Wow, okay. You have the exact that you want.
Yes. Then we measure the egg yolks. If you can see this part of the weighing scale, it's written tear. So when you put your bowl or plate, yes, you put it there, it will start measuring. But you want it to go back to 0 before you start weighing.
Yeah.
Yes. So you press the tear button. You go back to 0. So we need 60 grams of egg yolks, and I'm whisking just so that it's easier to measure instead of when it's when they are whole egg yolks.
Okay.
Yes. So 60 grams. Mm, 41, 42. Oh.
And it's less.
No, cannot be less. So there we have our egg yolks. We have our egg yolks. We have our egg whites. We have our caster sugar. We have our flour. And then we need, just for flavor, I'm going to use vanilla essence. So for the vanilla essence, I usually just measure using the cup of the bottle.
Okay.
So I'm going to put 1 cup.
And just
You can put also like a tablespoon.
how much oil do we need?
This is 60 grams oil. Yes. It has to be oil, not the fat, the solid fat.
Oh, you can't just melt the solid fats and use for this particular one.
No.
Uh-huh.
Yes. So now we are done measuring. And for cakes, just so that you make sure you do not forget some of the ingredients, you have to make sure you have all the ingredients measured out first before you start mixing. Yes, so we have everything here. And now the next step, we have lined our tin, we have measured our ingredients. The next step is to preheat the oven.
Okay.
For cake, you have to preheat the oven before you start mixing. Preheating an oven, you're supposed to put the cake in an oven that's already hot. It's not like when you're cooking, you just put on the gas, then you start cooking.
Yeah,
it has to be heated before.
But why can't it just heat together with the oven?
If you put a cake in a cold oven, it's going to sink. Yes, the cold. Yeah. So that's the reason why. So it's very, very important. So before you start mixing, you make sure you preheat the oven. So for the Swiss rolls take really short time in the oven. And for that matter, we bake them in very high heat. So for this one, we'll bake it in 200 degrees Celsius.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, trust me, even the bit about preheating the oven, not so many people know the function.
Yes, and that's the importance of going to school and knowing the basics.
The basics, it's really important. And you took home science in high school.
Yes, I did.
Did that really help in and how did you identify home science as the group 4 or 5? Because then we used to call them group 4 or 5 subjects.
Yes.
You had French to choose from, you had, and being in a national school, somebody would have wanted you to do a foreign language. Why did you go for home science?
Like I said before, my passion for cooking, there is just no way I would have taken something else. Yes.
So you just knew what you wanted from the beginning, and you didn't think twice about it.
No.
Well trained, and now you enjoying what you're doing. And then I hear you are a teacher too.
Yes, I realize, like, online there are usually very many people who ask for recipes, and sometimes, in as much as it's very easy for someone to just type out recipes online on Facebook or all the social networks, it's better when you show someone practically, because when I'm typing recipes for you online, I will not explain all the nitty-gritties. So I will type for you a recipe, you will go try it, and then it will flop, and you'll come tell me, your recipe did not work, because I did not show you practically. Yes. So I started training people. Yes.
So how many students do you have right now?
As of right now, today I have 1. Yes. Because of the weather and everything. It's
and how long does your training take?
Normally it depends with what I'm teaching. Like, there's a cake decorating class that I usually have, which takes 5 days. And then there's the snacks, Swiss roll, beignet donuts, cookies, and a cake, which takes about 5 hours. Yeah, so it only needs a day. When you start whisking the egg whites, you do not stop.
All right.
Yes.
What happens if you stop?
Okay, you've noticed that in the recipe, we do not have any raising agent like baking powder.
Yes, actually, I noticed.
Yes, that's because this egg whites, this action of whisking, is incorporating air that's going to make the Swiss roll spongy.
Oh.
Yes. So if you stop, if after whisking you keep stopping, as it sits on your working area, the air is coming out.
How long does the whisking take?
For me, because I'm already used to it, it takes me about 10 minutes. And actually, normally when I'm making the Swiss roll, from start to finish, from measuring the ingredients and everything, it takes me 20 minutes.
Wow. Okay, can I just try and see how that feels like?
Yeah, sure.
So then after, is that it?
Yes.
Okay. It doesn't seem so easy, by the way. It's kind of hard. Then after this, what are we supposed to put in?
After it gets really thick, we'll put in the caster sugar. Then we'll put in the egg yolks, alternating the flour, then the corn oil before baking.
All right. So, well, we are going to take a short break as we continue with the whisking. But do make sure that you catch our page on Facebook, that is ELIMU Nguvu, so you can get the recipe and how long exactly it took to whisk and what we put after that. But right now, ELIMU Nguvu is in the kitchen. Simply shows you just how much learning can be handy and practical, and it doesn't have to end up in the hospital. It can be in the kitchen. Well, ELIMU Nguvu takes a short break, but we'll be right back with the trainees and what exactly it takes to be a teacher, even in the kitchen. Don't go anywhere. Remember, this is ELIMU Nguvu at KUCV.